With that being said, I'd like to go ahead and call to order the regular city council meeting for Monday, November 25th, 2024. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Holly, will you call the roll, please?
Lanyon.
Present.
Pratt.
Here.
Jenkins.
Here.
Van Osper. Rhines.
Here.
Gilroy.
Here.
Hanson.
Here.
I would entertain a motion to excuse Mr. Van Allsburg.
So moved.
Thank you so much. Do I have support? Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And now I'm looking for approval of this evening's agenda, unless there are changes that need to be noted.
So moved.
Thank you. Do I have support?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We have an opportunity now for audience participation with a maximum of 5 minutes per presentation. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to come forward at this time? All right, moving along on our agenda, we have our council meeting minutes of November 11th, 2024. I'm looking for a motion to approve unless there are changes that need to be noted.
So moved.
Thank you so much. Do I have support? Thank you. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Brandon, you had an opportunity to review accounts payable.
I did. A pretty medium one for my final accounts payable of this term. We did have some tax payments which bumped it over 100, but it's pretty small comparative to our usuals. I didn't have any questions, so unless anyone else does, I'd make a motion to approve EFT 1210, check 77952 through 77982, ACH 1196 through 1222, for a grand total of $124,809.60.
Thank you so much, Brandon. Does anybody have any questions regarding accounts payable this evening? All right, I'm looking for support for Brandon's motion, please. Thank you, Steve. Holly, will you call the roll, please?
Rhines.
Yes.
Gilroy.
Yes.
Lanyon.
Yes.
Jenkins.
Yes.
All right. Moving along to our action items, we have 3 this evening. The first is our social district resolution. I'm going to turn that over to our city manager, John Hannafin.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. So we adopted a social district resolution roughly 2 years ago. The resolution in front of you is exactly the same as established 2 years ago. The only difference in the resolution, you can see at the bottom, and it's highlighted, it says the attached amended management and maintenance plan. And that amendment is extending the district through 2028. The district is set to sunset on January 2nd of 2025. So that's why it's in front of you tonight. Happy to answer any questions you may have. So far, so good. Things have gone well in the district. So I know that it's starting to, I know the restaurants appreciate it, and it's starting to build some business for them.
Great. Brandon.
Do they have to reapply, or are we just accepting the same group that already was?
They do not have to reapply. We just have to submit the amendment.
Do we have any interest from any of the other restaurants? I know that it's not a complete group. We have 4 that participate right now. Wondering if we know if anybody else would like to submit.
When we discussed establishing the district, I mean, in order for it to extend out, primarily it'd be to the west to pick up what would be Cancun, and then way far to the west it would be Old Nation. Tavern 109, I mean, we haven't reached out to them,
Okay.
but all of them were afforded the opportunity
Sure.
originally. So
Okay, all
we can
right.
certainly, really at this point, what it takes, if a business was interested in doing that, and it was part of, they would just have to make that request, and
Okay.
we put the resolution in front of all of you, and then we could choose to extend the district or not.
Sure. I mean, keeping it in our downtown area, within the DDA district, I think is probably the best plan. But yeah, I mean, I would certainly love to see Tavern 109 join in with the rest of the group. Like you said, it's gaining
Right.
momentum with our community members when they're downtown, and it's nice to see the businesses have that extra business.
I got one question.
Yes.
Just kind of out of curiosity, when this whole thing came up 2 years ago, there was some talk that they were going to convert the alleyway next to D&W into some sort of like downtown, that was kind of one of the caveats to doing this, is that still in the works?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. All right, I am looking for that motion for this resolution.
Make a motion to pass a resolution designating a social district containing common areas and alcohol consumption for the establishment of management and maintenance plans to be extended through 2028.
Thank you so much. Do I have support?
Second.
All right. Holly, will you call the roll, please?
Rhines,
Yes.
Gilroy,
Yes.
Lanyon,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Pratt,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Our next is our 2025 health insurance renewal, and we have a memo in our packet from our treasurer, Tom Mead, so I will go ahead and turn that right over to him.
Thank you, Mayor, City Council, but I don't know, City Manager, do you want to jump in? You want me to take this one?
It's all you, brother.
This is the easy one, so it's, everything pretty much is the same as prior year on our healthcare coverage and dental and life, and vision. The only change is the, insurance, the policy that we're under, they bumped up the out-of-pocket cost, the deductible for the employee, so we just are proposing renewing exactly what we had last year in making up the difference, by kicking up the, what city's contribution to the HSA just to offset the increase that was, set by the insurance companies.
All right, great. Thank you very much. Anybody have any questions for Tom? Yes, Steve, go ahead.
I don't see the calculation here. What's the annual cost of increasing what we contribute?
For the city, I mean, as a whole,
Collectively, yes.
I believe it is, let me see, read down through here, let's see. Can't remember.
Am I
right now.
correct in the first paragraph of discussion that it's an additional cost of around $9,890.76,
Yes.
which is
Yes.
that premium increase?
First under discussion, third one under discussion, it says 2025 premium,
Yeah, I thought I had it in there, but I couldn't remember
10%.
where.
It looks like there's a small increase for the dental, a
Mhm.
couple of things, I don't know if it totals to everything, but we've got to get an idea.
So 10,000 additional dollars in round term.
Yeah,
Any other questions?
and just an FYI, to add to that, that's represents a 6.5% increase that they, are proposing to us, and just to be conservative, we budgeted, I think we used 10% increase in our
Okay.
budget, because the prior year, they bumped it up pretty substantial, it's like 13%
Sure.
last year, so.
Sure. All right,
That's not bad, ours at work was 13% this year, so 6% is great.
yeah.
How many people does this cover?
I think there's about 20 full-time
We
employees.
have 20-something employees total, right? So this is for everybody, pretty much?
Full-time.
City manager?
So the potential is for all 20-some to be covered, but it's approximately half of the employees take a payment in lieu of insurance,
Mhm.
and that's $3,600 currently.
All right, great, thank you. Any other questions?
If they take a payment in lieu of insurance, does that mean they don't have the HSA then?
That is correct.
Oh, interesting, okay.
All right. Great thing to point out, Terry. I'm looking for the requested action.
I'll make a motion to approve the Physicians Health Plan HSA HMO Exclusive Gold 1600 Plan with Blue Dental with a $1,250/$2,500 health savings account contribution for the 2025 calendar year.
Thank you, Dan. Do I have support?
Support.
Or,
All right, thank you both. If there's no other questions or discussion, Holly, will you call the roll, please?
Gilroy,
Yes.
Lanyon,
Yes.
Hanson,
yes.
Pratt,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Rhines,
Yes.
All right. Our last action item for this evening is money transfer from general fund to sewer and water funds. And again, we have a memo in our packet from our treasurer, Tom Mead. I will turn that over to him at this time.
Thank you again, Mayor.
I will take this one if you wanna pass.
I was just gonna say, I was
All right,
Start
over
from
to
the
our
city
city manager,
manager.
John Hannafin.
I will say,
Thank you.
Tom certainly could present it, he did a great job of laying this out for all of you. So, we're in the situation, we're still waiting on the federal funding for our grant, and the funds are there, I mean, it's nothing to panic or be worried about, but, one of the reasons we did, methodically map out our project schedule over the next couple of years for those funds was with the money passing, in the night with the invoices and making sure that we were made whole through the grant before we launched into the next project, so. But we are in a situation, just how the project ended and where we're at in the current fiscal year, that we are gonna have, because bond payments are due for water and wastewater, we are gonna have to transfer from the general fund. Certainly allowable, there'll be a notation in the financials moving forward, and then when that, and a receivable noted for the general fund, and when those funds come in, that's where that money will go. There's always the question, the Darth Vader Death Star scenario, if the money never came, what would happen? We'd still have a receivable in the general fund, we're still in really great financial shape. I don't expect that to happen, but, again, you don't accept grants like that, and I think I've been pretty consistent, that it's a lot of money, $3 million, we can do a lot of great things with those, but until the money's here, it's not here. So, but we had to be prepared on the front end that this might be a case, and we'd have to front some of the funds. But it's all perfectly accounted for. We will have another single audit next year, because of the amount of federal funding that we received, and that will continue for a couple of years until those funds are extended.
Great, that was a perfect explanation of that, and yes, red tape and bureaucracy. So we know that we will receive that, and we have very good staff that will be mindful of that and watch for that, so, questions?
No?
Terry?
Commendation to city staff and previous city councils that the city has enough money in the bank that we can loan $1 million to the funds. And it's not gonna make us shut down and stop
Right,
cleaning the streets and stuff, so, good job.
absolutely.
Well done.
All right. If there's no other questions, yes, Steve?
Uh,
Oh, you'll make the
I'm gonna
motion?
make
All
it.
right, thank you.
He decided.
All right.
Move that we approve the transfer of $900,000 from the general fund with $725,000 to the water fund and $175,000 to the sewer fund.
Thank you so much. Do I have support?
Second.
Yes, thank you. If there's no further discussion or questions, Holly will call the roll, please.
Lanyon,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Pratt,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes?
Rhines,
Yes.
Gilroy.
Yes. All right, that concludes our action items for this evening. Now we're going to move on to discussion items. Again, these are the three consistent items that appear on our agenda: the construction project updates, the master plan updates, and the main four safety improvements. So I will turn that over to our city manager, John Hannafin, to lead us through those.
Thank you. So the project that is currently ongoing, I was gonna say outstanding, but it sounded like I was giving it credit, so I'm gonna say that. But the ongoing project with consumers, their transfer station next to the depot, our agreement with them expires on December 12th, which means they have to be done and gone by the 12th. So I met on site with their site supervisor last week. They were backfilling, they were working today even in the tough weather. There's a lot of sand on site in the Dahlstrom parking lot, so that's where they're taking that from. So they expect to be done by the time the project is completed, even with a short week with Thanksgiving. So did get on them a little bit about the state of Grand River and that they really need to get a sweeper out there, and that if they don't, we're gonna have to do it, and then we'll build them back for that.
Great.
So they're getting close on that. All of our other projects are substantially complete. Phil was here from Spicer. I don't know if you have anything to add, other than we're punch list is done and closed out and.
Punch list is done and closed out on them. We're doing final paperwork for Iron Horse to finish that up and close that out. So that'll be done here in the next couple weeks and wrapped up, and that's pretty much it.
I do have a question regarding Wint Street with the one manhole cover that's about that high over the pavement, that the orange cones are still
I
around.
can answer that.
Okay,
So that was apart from the other projects, and
Okay.
I reported on this last time, we have a number of those in town that the room elevations have to be adjusted.
oh, okay,
And so, we're just we're just waiting on a new manhole,
okay,
so
right,
that's it, yeah,
excellent.
that's why it's still coned up, yeah, good question.
okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Steve, go ahead.
We had discussed previously about some of the services not being completed as they're supposed to, and we were holding back payment.
Utilities. Is
Uh,
that utilities
I
or
think you're talking about the cable.
Payment to-
Fiber optic, yeah, not-
Yeah.
the restoration
Yeah.
from
Yes.
all the utility companies?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we still have a pretty substantial bond for, I'm starting to lose track because there's so many of them, I believe it's Frontier. So,
Yeah.
yeah, not a lot will get done obviously between now and because of I love the weather, so I'll say the great weather's on its way, so.
Right.
But, it'll be spring before we do, the tree log restorations in some spots, but most of it did get done.
And since we're, Dan, go ahead and then I'll finish up.
So since we're talking construction, what would be North Putnam, right around Grand River, it looks like there's some work happening near the light poles there, and the sidewalk has been dug up. Are we anticipating, will concrete be going back in there, or will that be, we think that'll happen this year, or probably in the spring?
It'll happen this year.
This year, okay.
If for some reason it doesn't, then it would have to be, it'll have a hard surface like cold patch. We will not allow them to, leave up the cyclone fence around the holes, and we're hoping they're done, really, probably not gonna happen this week, but hopefully by next weekend for all the activities that we have going on.
Yep, go ahead, Brandon.
So I know, so back to Spicer, I know that we had a couple of trees replaced in the hopes that they would then grow back once the spring comes around.
Right.
So what is our plan on double checking that? I know we said we're closing out accounts though, but obviously we still have to check in the spring if those trees are gonna live.
Yeah, we'll definitely, I mean, those are warranted, and so
Okay.
we would replace anything that doesn't, survive the awesome weather we're gonna have here soon.
So, go ahead, Terry.
I noticed 2 new concrete collars around manhole covers there at Mechanic and South, I think it is by the stadium there. I don't imagine that was Iron Horse, was that just DPW did that, or?
Correct, yeah, that was our own, and we'll see that more and more over the next several years, because
Yeah.
we frankly are a little bit behind in that.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of them right here on High Street that are really in need of work.
Okay.
If we hadn't, there's also several on Church Street, and we're waiting until the school year is done. I mean, I think that folks have lived through enough traffic impacts, and even just coning a small area. We had talked possibly about doing it over Christmas break, but the weather is so unpredictable that we decided we'll hold off until the spring. Well, till June, till early summer, late spring, once school is out.
Okay. So we have that ability in-house, those skills and so forth?
We contracted that out, to give you an idea of the scope, it was about $5,500 per manhole.
Wow.
So not free, but not as expensive either.
Okay, we're keeping track of it.
Correct.
Good.
So, we've come to the end of the construction season. We're gonna miss having you here in the meetings, however, just for the viewing audience, we will have construction projects in 2025 when the weather breaks. Don't know if it'll be as early next year as it was this year, but can you just 30,000 foot
Sure.
cover what we look forward to next
So-
year?
Other than maintenance, and maintenance can be anything from crack fill to patching a pretty significant portion of a street. We're still finalizing where that list is gonna be, but the large projects would be the Red Cedar water main crossing. And really the biggest impact would be at the St. Mary's School in McCormick Park parking lot, the east parking lot. But again, that would be a after-school project.
Yep.
And then the other project is the water main that services the basically all the buildings on the block that we're currently on.
The back
And
alley.
the back alley, correct. And so, same thing, that would be a, late spring, summer project. A little less concerned about school, but the weather has to be conducive, because we will have some temporary water main
Right.
above ground for those businesses to make sure that their service is consistent and there's no interruption for them.
Okay.
And this one will probably not hardly affect traffic in any
No.
way, right, being in the alley.
Yeah, I mean, it would, maybe from time to time, if we have to, operate on North Putnam for a stretch, and then the parking area back here, that's part of the other thing that we're looking at is, with the 2 parking lots back here, bundling those together with that project.
Great. All right.
And those would be the big ones. And when we get into strategic planning in February with the council, we'll have a plan for, you know, and I think everybody knows what crackfill is, but if you drive South Putnam, there's some wedging that we'll have to do, because the street's actually in really good shape, but there's like a couple of seam lines, and once it gets past about 6 inches, you have to do what's called a wedge, which is just a asphalt wedge right through it rather than crack fill. So we'll likely do that this coming summer because it needs it, and you do that when you can, so that the whole entire street doesn't fail.
Wonderful, great, all right.
For what it's worth, construction is a bummer, but I think there are a lot of little towns in Michigan that wish they had construction going on in the streets.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I would definitely agree with that. Master plan update.
Yeah, thank you. We've had a council meeting since the last planning commission meeting, but we are back at it next week. We'll be discussing the master plan. Just want to put it out there again to the council and to the other boards and commissions and the public that sort of save the date for January 14th, which is a Tuesday. We plan to have a work session with council, EDA, and planning commission to go over priorities and start to set the goals and objectives for the master plan.
All right, and Maine for safety improvements, and I know you guys have been waiting to hear back from that.
Yeah, in somewhat typical fashion, they did reach out to us to request our utility maps for the intersection, which is good. It's a good sign that things are moving forward as far as the signal, but beyond that, we have not heard back on.
I'm making some rounds with MDOT now. We're trying to get their model data from when they modeled the road diet, because that was one of the things they asked for down here.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, you talk to this person, so I'm making my way through MDOT. I only got a few hundred other people to talk to, and we'll get there, but we're hoping not to recreate the wheel on that and just minimize anything we have to do. Right now, I'm not really understanding why our model would be different than theirs, other than theirs is longer, but the four corners was the four corners. So
Right.
we'll see what comes out of that, but we're going through that right now because our plan is to have that ready to go for restriping in the spring.
All right, great, thank you so much for the updates. Any questions regarding anything? I know we had extensive questions regarding.
When I drive through Fowlerville, I have a serious case of jealousy and envy, and I look at their crossings that are different color concrete, and I want those.
Right, well, I think that's our goal, that's our goal.
Probably
But
not gonna get
but-
them in your Christmas stocking. Maybe your Easter basket.
But, you know, that is our goal, Terry, so
Okay, good.
thank you. You guys wanted a long meeting. Just let him keep talking. All right, so, moving down our agenda, correspondence received, information only. We do not have any department head reports. I will go right over here to city manager again.
Yeah, thank you. Just a couple of brief things. Williamston Winter Wonderland is the 6th and 7th. The schedule's out. A lot of great things happening. Making really good progress on expanding the number of parade entries. I'm not going to tell you the number, but it keeps growing. It's great. Cookie Crawl is also coming into shape. We are going to have carriage rides in town. That's something that's new. That'll be pretty cool. And then the Ugly Sweater Crawl is at Friday. So those are the big events. But lots of cool things happening. Make sure you're downtown this weekend, whether it's on Black Friday shopping or shop local or Saturday. It's important, and we have a lot of cool things. And how we keep those is we have to patronize the places that are here. So, so there's that. I'm happy to report that with the help of Mr. Jack Smith, we did receive a $12,500 tree grant. So Mr. Smith deserves most of the credit for that. I just looked at it and said, yep, looks great. So look forward to working on that. Cool. Good to say, it was pleasantly surprised, and you know, I've danced in the end zone a little bit. We got twice the amount of the community that I used to work in, so that certainly always is a big deal. So I was happy about that. We do have planning commission next week. We do have a preliminary site plan discussion for the corporate name is Tailgaters. It's a combination Dunkin' Donuts, gas station, convenience store, and that's at the right when you get off the highway. It's a property immediately north of I-96 on the east side of the road. It's where the old
Where the old
Quality
station
Dairy was planned, there was an old gas station here, so. And then beyond that, we'll be talking about the master plan.
All right. Jack, since you're here this evening, anything that you'd like to share regarding the tree grant? And thank you so much for your efforts. It's so appreciated because I know that this has been a little bit of a path to get to.
I want to acknowledge that got great support from the director of the guy that runs the Urban and Community Forestry Program for the DNR. Kevin Sayer lives in East Lansing and he was very helpful to me how to frame it. There's three things that'd be good for council to know. The grant does three things. We're going to buy some more trees for the growing city nursery, bare root and plant them, protect them. We're going to contract with an arborist to do inventory of our existing street trees. One of the things I learned from DNR is they don't want to give municipalities money to buy trees to put in their nursery because they sometimes never leave. So the inventory would tell us what we've got. It would also tell us where we have good spots for new plantings. And the third thing is building up a volunteer organization like Friends of Williamston Parks that would help DPW with the maintenance of the trees while they're growing in the nursery and then planting in their final locations.
Wonderful.
Those are the three pieces.
That's great.
Sign me up.
There you go. First
I
volunteer.
got you already.
Well, you know. With that 12,500, what do you see? What's your goal with that? As
Well,
far as like how many trees?
Well, the bulk of the money is going to go to the inventory, which, you know, it's going to cost about 10 grand.
Okay.
Those are the estimates. We got 3 estimates. They're all in about in the same zone. John will pick the best vendor. We're going to grow from, we've got 20 little trees in the nursery right now. We'll grow up to, you know, 90 or so. And then materials for protecting them and planting them. But the idea is that this would be something that wouldn't take a fancy tree spade because we would move them before they got that big.
Great. That is excellent. Thank you so much for that effort.
I enjoyed working on it.
Well, I'm sure your work's not done, so don't go away. But again, thank you so much for wanting to invest in the community and move that forward for us. I appreciate it.
Was it about a year ago, the first time that you showed up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
About so.
Yeah.
So you've been at this for a year.
Well, I can thank the city council and John for bringing the resolution. I think that was a part of our success.
Yep. Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, and it's nice to know that we have space available in our well field over off of Lynn Road, correct?
Right.
To be able to have our own tree nursery. I mean, that's amazing. So again, thank you so much, Jack, and thanks for being here this evening. Chief is not here. Do you have anything that you would like to report for Chief?
Yeah. Unfortunately, he had a death in their family, so he's attending to that. But they will be participating in the cookie crawl, and they'll have cookies and cocoa all day on Saturday at the light parade. Stuff the cop car is Saturday, December 7th. It's in the afternoon. He'll have some information posted on the website at the specific times. I think it's 10 till 2, I believe, something like that.
Yep, it's usually about 10 to 2. It's right in front of D&W.
Right.
You can purchase groceries from D&W or, bring things from home to help. If that goes to the Williamston Food Bank. You can also make monetary donations, and monetary donations go so much farther when our food bank is able to purchase food in commodity, bulk size. I've participated in that as a reserve officer. It's something that, our community really shows up for. And yes, it is a part of our light parade weekend, which is fabulous.
That's gonna happen again this Saturday?
No,
Saturday,
December 7th.
September 7th.
Yep.
I missed this one too, also, Pancakes with Santa is also Saturday the 7th, and that's a It's for the Williamston Schools Foundation fundraiser, and that's they blow it out over there, so, that's a great event too. Also, we did start interviewing for our vacant position. Marcus is in the academy, he'll start in January, but Chief has started the interview process for that, so we'll be fully staffed. So before we move on, I kind of missed this in my comments, but I want to thank Councilmember Pratt and Councilmember Mayor Pro Tem Lanyon for their service. I know you'll be no strangers to us here, whether you're on other boards or committees, or who knows, when you may come back around again. But I appreciate all you've done, I appreciate your support of all things Williamston, and thank you.
Well, that was a great lead-in, thank you so much. So, I do have a couple proclamations for our two council members that are going to be exiting. This is their last meeting before we bring in our new council members. And so I'm gonna start with Tom Pratt, and I'm gonna read this, that way our viewing community knows exactly how much we appreciate you. And this is in recognition of service to this Williamston City Council and your outstanding dedication to the community by also serving on the NISA Board, the Planning Commission, and the Parks and Recreation Commission. I present you with this certificate of appreciation. You have improved our community with your leadership, hard work, and dedication. So thank you so much, Tom. I appreciate it. And don't be a stranger.
I will not.
Once you get those kids raised, come back. This is for Brandon Lanyon in recognition of service to Williamston City Council and your outstanding dedication to the community by also serving as Mayor Pro Tem, serving on the Planning Commission, the Downtown Development Authority, and the EDC TIFA Board. I present you with this certificate of appreciation. You have improved our community with your leadership, hard work, and dedication. Thank you so much, and just remember, there's a seat on Planning Commission still open. So don't let the dust settle, get your application in. With that being said, I will ask, does anyone have any subcommittee reports that they'd like to share information on? Tom?
Just NISA, we had our, last week I think was NISA meeting, and it was going over the kind of the rough draft of the 25 budget, so that will be public meeting and voted upon at the December meeting.
All right, great, thank you. Well, it's gonna be big shoes to fill, but I'm sure I will find somebody that can handle that for us. I didn't say names yet. Anybody else have any city meetings they want to report on? Yes, Steve.
We had a TIFA meeting. We held it at John's suggestion over at the DPW Maintenance Complex. And
Nice,
for
excellent.
those of you that haven't been over there, it's definitely an eye-opener as to what we have available to provide for the services for the city. So that was very enlightening to me. And we discussed some of the expenditure possibilities for TIFA that we have remaining. And one of those is the possibility of another storage unit for the maintenance complex over there. And then also some road repaving, parking lot, and perhaps security cameras. And we do want to, the discussion was, we want to hold on to half or a significant amount of the money that's in there presently, which is about $500,000. Hold on to it so we fully understand what's happening with the ice house, because as we've all discussed before, we want to maintain the ice house. We're hoping that we have an outside individual to help redo that, but we don't know all of that at this point, so we want to reserve some of those funds in case we have to do something in regards to the ice house.
Great. Yeah, it is a historic building, and I would love to see it preserved. Terry, you have your hand up.
Any progress on the tip of the ice house thing? Somebody was interested, I remember.
We did go through an RFP process. We did select someone as a potential developer, and we're in the negotiation phase with the development agreement. And that should be a TIFA, just at least a discussion item at the December meeting.
Okay, cool.
Great.
Glad to hear it. I was just gonna say no park and rec this week, so
All right,
we'll try again next month.
all right, sounds good. All right, audience participation, maximum of 5 minutes per presentation. Anybody? All right. Council member comments. I'll go ahead and start with our two, I'm gonna leave you two for last.
Okay.
So,
I should roll something down.
Terry?
Boyd Street Neighborhood Association, yes.
All right,
We have a motto, and our motto is, we love our perfect pavement.
Okay.
We've noticed that the leaf cleaning operations have scuffed it in a few places. We're wondering if there's a pavement polishing program or anything we could sign up for, just to.
Bring it back to you.
I don't know.
Terry, here's what I'm gonna tell you, eventually we're gonna have a leaf sucker upper,
Right?
right? A leaf sucker upper.
That's
So there won't be any more scuffing. If you can tell the Lloyd Street
I will let
Association to be a little bit more
I let all
patient.
of them know. Everybody will find
Leaf
out.
sucker upper.
Leaf sucker up.
A back. Yep, why not? Let's just have some fun with everything.
That's my only comment.
All right, thanks, Terry. Steve?
I can't top that.
Okay, all right. You watch The Office way too much. Dan?
I just want to say thank you to Mayor Pro Tem Lanyon and Councilman Pratt for their years of service, and it's been good working with you guys. And best of luck with your new endeavors.
Terry, or not Terry, you've already spoke, sorry. You know, you
Not
just,
again.
thinking about you. Tom?
I didn't write anything down, I don't have any big grand master speech or anything since the last meeting. I would just like to say that it has been an entirely positive experience being on this board. I feel like this group of people, we've worked really well together. Even in the few times that we have disagreements, I feel like we just communicate through them well, and we go about our business, and we've, I think, conquered some big things over the last number of years with hiring a couple police chiefs, a new city manager, and I think all of us have done our due diligence to put the city in a good spot. I think we're in a great spot right now. I've thoroughly enjoyed being here. I wouldn't leave city council at this point, or I would have re-ran again if I didn't have so many other priorities that have developed in the last 4 years. And honestly, I have full intentions to probably someday, down the road when my kids are a little older and grown, to run again.
There's gonna be an election in like 2026. You
See,
just mark your calendar.
26.
See,
I'll vote for it.
20, 30s, in the
Oh, okay,
30s
all
probably.
right.
You have my vote, okay?
Brandon?
Not as much. I'll second everything that Tommy said. I think sincerely the biggest thing that we've done as a group that we did together was hire John. I don't think the view audience knows I'm a big fan of John. And I think that he has guided us in a far positive way that we wouldn't have gotten but for him. So I think that's probably the biggest thing that as a group we've done. I appreciate everything that we do together. Again, as we have had disagreements, even my friend Dan and I have had disagreements, and we still are still sex each other. We've not thrown punches. So I appreciate working. And as the prophet Arnold Schwarzenegger once said, I'll be back.
All right.
So.
Well, I can't say enough about I can't say enough about the commitment that both of you have put forward, because it's not just city council that you serve, you also sit on the additional boards. And I truly appreciate what you brought, not only to this table for council, but also to the boards that you sit on. And Tom, for you for being a part of NISA, knowing that you had a relationship and background with NISA, I really valued your wisdom there, and so I really appreciate that. And it's something that I will miss. But maybe if we have questions, we can call you up. And I know where you live. But I just really appreciate your dedication and always putting the city forward. I think that's something that we can all say that we do very well, is we're here because we want to make the city better. So thank you. And Brandon, thank you so much for serving as mayor pro tem and also being on planning commission and handling accounts payable, because those are extra efforts as well. And with your knowledge outside of the city of Williamston, you always bring to us that common sense, rational look, and you're able to use your experience in your day job here with us, and I appreciate that. And so you will be missed on this side of the table, but I know that And I know where you live too. So don't go far. But I appreciate everybody at this table. I look forward to this next year. I look forward to having new council members here. And to our community out there, we do have open seats on all of our, not all of our city boards, but certainly it takes a special person that wants to take away time from their family and serve on a city board to help move this city forward. So if anybody's interested in looking for opportunities, we do have seats available on several boards. But in case you didn't see, I've got my Williamston Winter Wonderland shirt on, and I know that John went over some of the events, but it is one of our biggest events that we hold every single year, and it wouldn't be possible without our community events group that meets every Friday to help put these events together. So I'm going to go over this schedule quickly. On Friday, December 6th, we do have our Jingle and Mingle Ugly Sweater Pub Crawl. It's an opportunity to visit Nico's Tavern, River House Inn, Tavern 109, Williamston Pub and Zinda's. They will have different specials that evening. It starts at 5 p.m. until close. So grab your ugly sweaters, ugly hats, whatever you've got, and join in the community on Friday evening. Saturday, we have carriage rides, something we've never done before, but with everything that we put in place last year and what we are doing to make it even better this year, we're going to have horse-drawn carriage rides that will start over in the Old Mill parking lot. They will go north of the bridge and then they'll circle back around. I think they're going through the park too. And that's a wonderful thing that our path is big enough that we can take these carriage rides through the park. It is $5 per person, but I've also heard too that there may be a special drawing for some lucky individuals to possibly ride, if Santa shows up, to ride with Santa in our light parade. So definitely, I think that's just a neat addition that we've got going on. Cookie crawl from 4 to 7. Last year was highly successful. We had 17 businesses that participated. I ate every single cookie. It was amazing, and it also gave everyone an opportunity who participated to get into businesses in our downtown that they might not have visited before. So I'm hoping that we have more than 17 locations. It would be great if, I know we're not going to double that, but you know, I'd like to see it up into the 20s because it's a great opportunity. Again, to get into those businesses. You can pick your boxes up at Living Arts Dance Studio on Grand River, and it's $10 a box. It is well worth the $10. And also, you know, you can use these as treats for your own Christmas party. We will have a holiday market from 4 to 7, also at the Living Arts Dance Studio, and that is going to be a Christmas market with vendors. How many vendors do we have signed up? 8 vendors. So opportunity to do some Christmas shopping with some local vendors inside the Living Arts Dance Studio. We are going to have Visit Santa from 4 to 7 in the Old Mill parking lot, at the gazebo before the parade, and at the Living Arts after the parade. So for all you kids that still need to let Santa know what you're looking for underneath the Christmas tree, or parents, Santa's going to be available for you. We're going to have warm drinks and donuts from 4 to 7 in the Old Mill parking lot as well. Our parade is going to kick off at 6 p.m. and that's going to be wonderful. Does not matter what the weather is. We've done it in snow, we've done it in rain, ice, and it's going to be great. So the parade is at 6 p.m. right here on Grand River. It starts at the Commons. We'll end here at the tree for the tree lighting. St. Mary's is going to have an afterglow. After the parade is done, you can go over to St. Mary's and participate in their activities. But our community has so many activities going on throughout that entire weekend. Like we said, fill a cop car, which you know, benefits our food pantry here in town. So many of the businesses will have their own things going on, so it's a great time to get downtown and visit some of the businesses, and again, like I said, do that Christmas shopping. So with that, that is a good way to close. It's December 6th and 7th, Williamston Wonderland, Winter Wonderland, Light Parade, all that good fun stuff. Hope to see you all there, and hopefully Santa remembers where Williamston is. I mean, he's on the list, so we better, right? But I will go ahead and adjourn at 7:44.